One serum built around the Nobel Prize-winning biological concept. The other built its entire identity on one production process. Tonight, the formula decides which philosophy is real and which exists only on the packaging. Advanced Night Repair by Estée Lauder. 40 years. Philosophy, fermentation synchronized to your skin's circadian repair cycle. Missha Time Revolution. Entire identity built on one word, fermentation. 2 bioreactors, 1 battlefield. Tonight, we find out. The question is not which product is better. It is whether the fermentation science inside these bottles matches the story outside them. The label is regulated evidence. It cannot lie. That is where we start. Before the evidence, 60 seconds of biology. Understanding what a ferment is transforms a marketing word into a measurable standard. That standard is tonight's instrument. The biology is not background. It is the weapon. A cosmetic ferment is not a living probiotic on your face. It is the molecular output of a controlled bacterial culture. Metabolites, peptides, cell wall fragments, harvested after the organism has been deliberately destroyed. That destruction is called lysis, sonication, enzyme attack, thermal shock, membrane ruptures, cytoplasm spills. What you harvest from the wreckage, DNA fragments, peptides, wall debris, is the lysate, dead bacteria alive with instructions. Your skin does not need living bacteria. It needs to read their molecular language. CpG DNA fragments dock onto toll-like receptors in keratinocytes and trigger an endogenous repair cascade. Mechanism? Evolutionary. Application? Cosmeceutical. Not all fermentation processes produce the same molecular output. Temperature cycling, osmotic stress, pH modulation determine which molecules the bacterium synthesizes. The process shapes the molecule. This is the claim we are about to test. Advanced Night Repair. Water. Then Bifida Ferment Filtrate at position 2. EU Cosmetics regulation mandates descending concentration order. Position 2 means clinically intentional concentration. At this scale in a formula, that decision is expensive. Critical distinction. Filtrate and lysate are not the same fraction. Filtrate is extracellular, metabolites the living bacterium secreted. Lysate is intracellular, cytoplasm, DNA, wall debris after lysis. Advanced Night Repair deploys both simultaneously. The lysate fraction has robust clinical support. Randomized double-blind trials on Bifidobacterium longum extract show measurable barrier reinforcement via TEWL testing. Treated skin required significantly more tape strips to breach. Evidence earns position 2. Advanced Night Repair carries TRIPTIDE32, engineered to mimic clock gene expression. The circadian biology earned the Nobel Prize in 2017. Cosmetic concentration efficacy rests primarily on Estée Lauder's own research. Concept: credible. Proof: proprietary. The delivery system, hydrogenated lecithin and ethoxylated surfactants, build a liposomal micelle network that transports lipophilic actives inside what behaves like pure water. That sensorial signature is engineered architecture, not accidental, not coincidental. Now, what the packaging never mentions: red 4, yellow 5, 2 synthetic dyes, 0 biological function. Their purpose, the iconic amber color, because Bifida lysate naturally oxidizes and darkens. The color is stability management. Advanced Night Repair, dual filtrate plus lysate at clinical concentration, pharmaceutical-grade liposomal delivery, credible chronobiological peptide with proprietary validation, and a color system managing real formula oxidation. More interesting than its marketing. Dossier 1 complete. Now, the challenger, Missha claims extreme fermentation, thermal cycling, and controlled stress forcing richer molecular output, a legitimate biotechnological concept. The question, does the formula reflect this philosophy? We read the label now. The Missha label opens with real science. Niacinamide at position 5 suggests meaningful concentration. Niacinamide has one of the most robust independent evidence bases in cosmeceutical science for ceramide biosynthesis stimulation. Substantive from the start. Yeast ferment at 6, diethyethyl succinate at 7, adenosine at 8, xanthan gum, the gelling agent, at 9. And now, Bifida Ferment Lysate, the ingredient this brand's entire story is built upon. If reading a label as regulated evidence, not marketing copy, has changed how you see every product on your shelf, subscribe. One formula, one honest analysis. Every week. No filler, no sponsored conclusions. EU Cosmetics Regulation. Descending concentration order. No exceptions. Bifida Ferment Lysate sits after xanthan gum in sub-percentage territory. The brand built on extreme fermentation ranked its hero ferment below the ingredient that creates texture. To be precise, INCI position gives concentration rank, not exact percentage. That data is proprietary. What the regulatory evidence supports, Advanced Night Repair prioritizes its Bifida ferment significantly more than Missha. P1 leads measurably. But a formula is not one ingredient. The Bifida ferment is not the strongest card in Missha's formula. Niacinamide is. Niacinamide executes a biological strategy Advanced Night Repair never attempted. This is where analysis accelerates. Niacinamide directly stimulates endogenous ceramide biosynthesis, skin manufacturing its own barrier lipids from within. Multiple independent, randomized controlled trials confirm this at 2 to 5%, among the most replicated findings in cosmeceutical science. Missha adds ceramide NP directly in hydrogenated lecithin liposomes. External ceramide delivery plus internal synthesis signaled by niacinamide, a dual-vector barrier strategy. Advanced Night Repair contains no ceramide across its 43-ingredient formula. Adenosine closes P2's active stack, collagen-stimulating nucleoside with consistent independent support. Conservation via 1,2-hexaniodol and ethylhexyglycerin. No EDTA, no BHT, no synthetic dyes, no oxidation to conceal. This formula has nothing to hide. Missha Time Revolution, niacinamide ceramide dual-vector barrier strategy with strong independent validation, clean conservation, no color management, and a Bifida ferment fraction whose formula position contradicts its marketing primacy. Dossier 2, complete. Verdict begins. Verdict 1, Fermentation Science and Delivery Engineering. Advanced Night Repair leads. Bifida Ferment at position 2. Dual filtrate plus lysate architecture. Pharmaceutical-grade liposomal micelle delivery. The concentration advantage is real. The delivery architecture is real. Verdict 2. Barrier science and formula integrity. Missha Time Revolution leads. Niacinamide ceramide dual vector strategy independently validated beyond the fermentation claims here. For barrier compromised, sensitive, or reactive skin, the evidence points here. Verdict 3. The fermentation claim. Missha markets extreme fermentation as its primary advantage. Label places the ferment below the gelling agent. Niacinamide ceramide carries more independent validation. Marketing story and formula story are not aligned. Verdict 4. The price gap. Advanced Night Repair's premium reflects superior fermentation concentration and delivery architecture, not superior barrier science. Chronobiological aging, premium defensible. Barrier reconstruction, This evidence does not support that premium. The sentence that closes this war, UV damage, chronobiological aging, advanced night repair, is scientifically coherent at its price. Compromise barrier, sensitivity, independent validation, Missha time revolution is the more transparent formula. What advanced night repair does better than its marketing says, Filtrate plus Lysate, is a genuine formulation investment the packaging never explains. Chronobiological ambition is coherent science most luxury serums never attempt. More interesting than its story. What Missha Time Revolution does better than its marketing says, the niacinamide-ceramide strategy is the strongest independently validated combination here, stronger than the fermentation claim the brand leads with. Best science, least mentioned. What both brands do not discuss, the fermentation category has no regulated definition. Any product can claim fermentation science at any concentration and meet no minimum standard. The INCI list is the only public instrument. What you can now do, apply this INCI reading to any fermentation product in any category. EU and FDA both mandate descending concentration order. 30 seconds per label. The context was all that was missing. 2 bioreactors entered this laboratory. One emerged with fermentation architecture confirmed and color management documented. One emerged with fermentation claim qualified and a barrier science reputation it had never been given credit for. Both formulas are genuinely interesting on their own terms. Neither is what its marketing claims. The gap between what a label says and what a formula contains is what this channel exists to close. Every claim passed 3 gates: evidence level, concentration specificity, regulatory risk. Any claim that failed was removed, not softened, not reframed. The standard, every statement survives scrutiny in the comments section without qualification. The next episode is already in the bioreactor. A new product, a new claim to test against the same instrument. If tonight changed how you read a label, the next one goes further. The war is over. The label decided it. 2 bioreactors, 2 honest verdicts, 1 instrument available to everyone. The lab is already running the next analysis. See you there for the next war.